getting the facts right. You're watching News Channel 12 at 6.
New Bern's police chief says serious crime is down in the colonial capital. Some arrests have been made, while several cases remain unsolved tonight. Good evening, I'm Wes Goforth, and we continue our two-part series on crime in New Bern tonight. My co-anchor Valentina Wilson was the only TV journalist to speak with Chief Toussaint Summers Jr. on the status of those investigations. She's getting the facts right. Val?
Wes, I wanted to take a closer look at violent crime in New Bern, what the city police department calls serious crime. It includes crimes like rape, armed robbery, and homicide. I learned the city actually saw a 4.5% drop in serious crime from 2011 until 2012, from 3,676 incidents to 3,515. However, the colonial capital did see a spike in crime late last year, and the chief blames that on a series of break-ins. Savage's Pizzeria on Trent Road is broken into not once, not twice, but 3 times in late 2012.
The office door was busted open. They took our safe, and they also took our register.
Troubling for the owner, but also troubling for Police Chief Toussaint Summers Jr.
How do you keep opening up shop when you have a thug element in the community who may come back that same week?
We need to stand up and let those people who don't have respect for property and life know that we will not tolerate it in this community. How are you?
Police have yet to make an arrest in the break-ins, but they are going door to door, meeting with business owners and offering advice.
It's very important that they take every precaution they can to prevent it.
Tom's Coins and Antiques on Middle Street downtown did prevent it by storing high-ticket items in a safe. Thieves broke the front door in late January but left empty-handed. Police arrested 21-year-old Benjamin Krause.
I'm just glad they've caught one, and I hope they catch the rest.
Plywood remains over the door at Tom's Coins and Antiques. A couple of days after this break-in, thieves struck just a couple of doors down at Bynum's drugstore. That break-in remains unsolved.
He raked the shelf with oxycodone, the full shelf into his open jacket.
Pharmacist Dennis Bridger says he's pleased with how New Bern police responded.
I think they're doing a good job. Before they can make an arrest, they have to build a case, and the police are following leads.
Sometimes those leads include fingerprints or even shoe prints. I was able to see some of that detective work in action.
Where you can see some of the ridge detail. Also any blood that could be left behind. Maybe they've cut their hand when breaking a window. We can swab that area of blood and submit it to the crime lab and hopefully get a DNA profile on our suspect.
Police tell me they recently solved a string of jewelry thefts in several New Bern neighborhoods.
One group was responsible for a large portion of the jewelry thefts, but there were also some other individuals independent of them that also have already been arrested.
Chief Summers says in many cases the stolen jewelry ends up at pawn shops and doesn't get reported to police. He asked the New Bern Board of Aldermen to close the gap. The board is set to consider an ordinance Tuesday night to require pawn shops and similar type businesses to report to police jewelry that they have obtained.
And I think that's going to go a long ways into helping us to identify, especially jewelry that has some identifying characteristics such as some type of number.
Residents would be able to enter photos of their stolen jewelry into a database to be compared with photos from the pawn shops. With close to 30,000 people living in New Bern, 78 officers patrol a 30-square-mile area. Chief Summers says police can't do it alone. It takes a village to fight crime.
Everybody should take a part in keeping our community safe. You can't just rely on the police department.
When we look at the police crime stats, we see that the number of burglaries in New Bern has dropped significantly since 2010 being in the blue there. But the number of larcenies rose during that same period. Chief Summers says this is because he changed the way those categories are reported. Since 2011, the category for burglary includes only homes and businesses. Vehicle break-ins are now recorded as larcenies. Wes.
Okay, Val, and the chief has divided the city of New Bern into 6 community policing districts and assigned a team of officers to each district. And we took a closer look now at the efforts in tonight's fact check. Summers is requiring officers to get out of their police cruisers and walk in the area as they patrol. He's documenting their hours. Officers are encouraging communities to set up neighborhood watches. And the chief says he will launch a Citizens Police Academy on February 21st.